I saw what happened to Ricky Pearsall today. I may have been the only one that saw it. Maybe somebody else did see it. Maybe 10 other people saw it. I'm not saying I saw it and so uh, I got better eyes or something, but maybe somebody else has already said what happened. I haven't seen. I've been in the car back from Santa Clara. Hey, everybody, Guy here. Not a good day for the night. Look, the biggest story is Brandon Aiyuk. And if you're watching this on Tuesday, August 6th, before 7 p.m. Pacific, I'll tell you that coming up at 7, I'm going to do a show. We're going to talk more about that because the situation's not good. But this is not about that specifically, although we can get into that a little bit. This is about the one thing that I said I needed to see out of Ricky Pearsall was health. You know, I got DMs. I got text messages. Somebody said, so one reporter says the Pearsall doesn't look great. Somebody else sent me an article. Like Grant Cohn says he's not separating. And my response has been the same for a week. I think he's fine. He needs to stay on the field and needs to get Aiyuk back, but he's fine. He's fine. He's going to catch what they throw him. He's got a high floor. He's fine. Well, today he wasn't fine. He made a great play. Deep ball, not a go ball, kind of one of those over routes the Niners love to hit. 50-yard touchdown. A couple plays later in team drill for the Niners, he is blocking in a crowd. And he comes out of it just kind of like, doing one of these, clearly hurt. And I couldn't tell if it was his wrist or his elbow or his shoulder or what. So I moved down the line. The players all line up behind the offense. He went through those guys, and the trainer's looking at him, and he's flexing and that. And then later he's talking to Debo, and he's, checking his arm. After practice, look, I don't – there's some confusion about this sometimes, which it doesn't really matter. I just say this out of respect for the people that are like real reporters and journalists. That's not that's not me necessarily. Some of you like, oh, you're a Niner reporter. That's fine. I don't correct, but just like understand there are like rules and regulations and, standards, and they do a lot of writing. I don't love writing. They're good at it. I don't think I'm good at it. But this was a situation that presented itself. So I'm reporting on it. I'm just telling you what I saw. Anyway, this is, I asked Kyle Shanahan today after practice. Normally I don't play answers that could be just paraphrased, but since I asked it, I'm going to play it. So I asked him, did Ricky Pearsall get hurt today? This is what he said.
Yeah, he tweaked his shoulder, something that he did in OTAs. I don't know if it's too serious, but that's why we removed him halfway through practice.
So it happened it happened in the 7th period of practice, which was about 11:05 a.m. Pacific in real time. Practice ended at 11:45 about. So he missed 40 minutes of practice. He missed half of practice. And it was part of a day in which Kyle Shanahan afterwards revealed that Christian McCaffrey has a calf strain, likely will not play in the preseason. Elijah Mitchell has a hamstring injury. Ricky Pearsall now has this shoulder that he's dealing with from OTAs. Mitch Wisnowski has knee irritation. Brandon Aiyuk has just general irritation. The 49ers have just general irritation with Brandon Aiyuk. Oh, and by the way, Trent Williams is nowhere to be found. And when people say to me like, oh, Trent, that'll take care of itself. Here's what I know about Trent Williams. Trent Williams stopped playing football for a year because he didn't want to play. Like, I'll just, you know what? I'm good. I've faced death. I don't want to play for the football team. I'm just not going to play. Trade me or whatever. I won't play. So if you think Trent Williams is going to get pushed around by the 49ers, you are wrong about that. If you think Trent Williams is going to compromise, I think you're wrong about that. So this was on the grand scale of very good days and very bad days. It leans bad day, I'd say. Now, we already knew Trent wasn't there. The Aiyuk thing is just continuing. Think about for a second where you're at with Brandon Aiyuk. It'd be one thing if Ricky Pearsall was drafted 7th overall. You got Malik Neighbors. Like, we got this guy. He can just replace Ricky. He can just replace Aiyuk. No problem. You know who I would not want to be? I would not want to be Ricky Pearsall, who's been tasked with replacing Brandon Aiyuk week 1 against Sauce Gardner. That sounds like a bad foot to get off on. So they don't have a great solution there. And now we're losing more time on Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall doesn't need to be a number 1 receiver. He doesn't need to be a Pro Bowler. He doesn't need to be any of that stuff this year. He just needs to be available. Just needs to be available. My opinion of him, and I've said this before camp started, and I said this after watching him practice for a month in a week in pads. My opinion of Ricky Pearsall was, if he's just healthy, he's gonna get open. He'll get on the field. He's gonna catch what you throw him. He's gonna be in the right place. Like, it's gonna work. It'll work fine. It may not work number 1 receiver level, but it's not gonna be Jalen Reagor. It's going to be fine. It may not be Brandon Aiyuk, but it's not going to be Jalen Reagor. It's not. I know people are like, oh, is it going to be Dante Pettis? I think if he is healthy and on the field, or AJ Jenkins, if he's healthy and on the field, my opinion very quickly was it's going to be fine, because he's going to get open and he's going to be where he's supposed to be. And then when Purdy hits him, he's going to catch it. But he's got to be on the field for that. And that's why I've said for a week now, I don't want to be right about this, because I want to watch the guy play. And I know how hard it is when you get kind of stuck behind the 8 ball, especially as a rookie receiver. It just gets harder and harder and harder. But now it feels like, now we'll see. Maybe tomorrow he's back out there. But the fact that this is a shoulder irritation from camp means that now, or may mean that now, they're going to give it extra time to rest. Right? Because they thought it was healthy. Now the shoulder's irritated. So what's going to happen? He's either going to get to the year without, he either gets to the season without having practiced a ton, or he gets to the season already not 100%. Comment, Danny Gray redemption arc incoming. Danny Gray has had some good days. Big year for Benny Jennings incoming. I'm glad that you guys are being optimistic. Wayne Jr. can't beat press coverage. Who's this about? Which guy is this about? He got open on Diameter Lenore today for a deep ball. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, you ask him to be like your number 3 receiver in an offense with other weapons. So I that part of it is not the concern for me. The concern for me was be healthy, and now he's not available. This is Ronnie Bell's team. I mean, Chris Conley and Trent Taylor are about to go off week 1. Bad day. Jacob Cowing's back. Actually, let me share with you guys watching this a picture of Jacob Cowing that I took. Let me see if I can get this up here quickly. Didn't have this ready. I forgot about this. This was so much intel ago. Let me share this photo real quick with y'all. If you're watching, you're about to see it. It looks kind of like, you remember, for those of you listening, you remember the old He Hate Me jersey from the XFL, where you could put whatever you wanted on the back of your jersey. And one guy put, Rod Smart was that guy's name. This is a long time ago. Younger people won't remember. Jacob Cowing wearing the blue jersey today. There's no number on the blue jersey. It has the same 3 stripes on the shoulder that the 49ers red uniform has. There you can see John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in the background. But on the back, no number, royal blue. On the back, where normally there is a name, it says "Do not touch." Do not touch. I wish I could tell you putting McCaffrey in that jersey would prevent injuries, but it doesn't. The good news for him, I guess, is that it's August 6th, but we've dealt with the calf strain before. Anyway, very weird day. Very weird day. The Aiyuk stuff is very weird. I just had sent to me by I don't think I can screen share audio. I've got to record this. I did not see it. Let me just play it from my phone. This is not the highest tech way to do this. There's got to be a way to screen share with audio, but I don't have that set up right now. So, oh, you know what? Hold on. I can do this. Here we go. Stand by, everybody, because I didn't see this yet. Maybe you guys watching or listening saw this Christian McCaffrey interview. Chris Rose and Steve Weish were at Niners today. Let's listen to this here. Hold on. Let's see if we can play this. I'm just going to
for any of our teammates, whether they're here or not.
You guys hearing this? I think you guys should be hearing this.
Situation with Brandon, just as a teammate with his not knowing whether he's going to be here or not, the ramped up, conversation and reports about a possible trade. How do you guys deal with that in-house?
No, for me, I don't deal with it. That's not part of my job. It's not part of my position. I think obviously as a former teammate or, teammate of his in general, any teammate that you have, you love, you respect them, you want the best for them. As far as the business side of this game goes, it's always difficult. And so I stay out of it completely. That's way above my pay grade. And I just try to focus on what I can do every single day. But obviously we always wish the best for any of our teammates, whether they're here or not. Obviously we hope he's here. Just, it's a tough part of the business.
Situation with Brandon. Just as
I got a message here. It says old news. I mean, I was in the car for like an hour and that's old news. Made a few phone calls. Scott asked, why have the Steelers been so confident all offseason that we're getting Aiyuk? Scott must be, you're a Steeler fan? Because they know he wants to be there. He's probably accepted their offer already. They don't have an offer the 49ers like. Now, maybe they're back in the mix, was Schefter reported this afternoon. All right, this is hurtful but funny. Sean says, McCaffrey fumbling in the red zone again. Griffin, I don't think it's a slip up. I think they're all over these disputes. Nigel asked, did McCaffrey slip up? Do we make anything of that clip of Christian McCaffrey? That is not nothing. Look, I love to shoot down a conspiracy theory as much as the next person, but that is not nothing.
I just try to focus on what I can.
And then just as how do you guys do?
That's not part of my job. It's not part of my position. I think obviously as a former teammate or, teammate of his in general, any teammate that you have,
any generally speaking teammates, just generally speaking teammates. I'm pro McCaffrey. Here's a comment from Leon who says, Mike Reese from ESPN saying the Patriots are being super aggressive, want to make BA a top 5 paid receiver. They're waving money in his face. Let's see if money talks. Right now, I think it's clear that Aiyuk is kind of stuck. He wants to be a Steeler for reasons unknown. Does anyone know the reason? Why does he want to be a Steeler? It's not because they're offering the most money, but he wants to be a Steeler for reasons unknown. Doesn't want to be a Brown, apparently. Doesn't want to be a Patriot. Those teams are offering more money than the Niners have put in front of them. I saw Hayden Winks today, Underdog. I think it was him that said his fantasy value would go down as a Patriot or a Steeler. No kidding. And would basically stay the same as a Brown. People say this. Tomlin. He wants to go play for Tomlin because he looks like baby Tomlin. Yeah, I mean, that's not a real reason, though. Comment, I'd take the number 1 pick from the Pats. I agree, but that's not what they're offering. So, but anyway, let me go back to the point about Aiyuk as of 3:26 p.m. Pacific. I think you have to read the situation as he's not sure what he wants or he wants to be a Steeler, which is weird. Why? Because he's been given a path out. We know he was given a path out based on the report yesterday that he can go to, doesn't want to be a Niner. He can go to the Browns or the Patriots. Well, he's not a Brown or a Patriot yet. So he wants out for a particular organization. He wants to play for a contender and a good organization. Who's going to win more games this year? I mean, what did the Browns win last year with Flacco? Like, I bet the Browns over-under number is higher than the Steelers. 8.5, the same. Like, I'm not saying you should go want to play for Deshaun. I'm not saying you should go want to play for Cleveland. But he wants to go play for Washington with his best friend. Like, I get that. I understand wanting to go play for Jaden Daniels. But Adam Peters is there. Why isn't Adam Peters trying to trade his guy for their guy? Because he likes his guy. He got to Washington. They're like, oh no, we love Scary Terry. He's a captain. Like, we're good. It's like, oh no, but I'm an Aiyuk guy. And Jaden Dale's an Aiyuk guy. I'm like, that hasn't happened. I've mocked the people who say trade him for Devontae because I'm like, why would the Raiders do that? But I'd try to do that deal. Definitely. Hey, if you're here right now, appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've been doing big numbers the last 24 hours. Thanks to you. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Also, thanks to the sponsor, CIRCA Sports. Contests in Vegas are back. CIRCA Survivor and CIRCA Million. Now up to $16 million in guaranteed prizes. That's 2 contests. CIRCA Million is $6 million in guaranteed prizes. $1,000 in entry. Pick 5 games per week against the spread. Best performer at the end wins the top prize. First place. Loser, last place, gets $100,000. Last place. And there's CIRCA Survivor, $10 million to the guaranteed winner or winners. $1,000 in entry. 1 pick per week. Straight up. Can't pick the same team twice. Enter in Nevada, either Reno Sparks or Vegas. Sign up with a proxy there. Then you play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com or circasports.com and then click on contest for more information. That's circasports.com. Click on contest. John B. comment. I just have a hard time understanding why a California native who wore Niner gear as a kid, plays for the Niners, wants to play for the Steelers all of a sudden. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in theory, because they're going to want to give him the most money. But are the Steelers offering more money than Cleveland? Are they offering more money than New England? Are they offering more money? Are they offering more money than the 49ers? Hugh says that Devontae's better, obviously, but the reason they are trading Aiyuk is because they don't want to pay him, so it makes no sense to trade for another high-priced receiver. Well, Devontae's going to get a new contract soon, but right now he could be a little bit cheaper, and he is I mean, if Aiyuk wants out and you're the Raiders, you go, well, we're not going to re-sign. Devontae's not coming back here. So let's get a guy that'll be here for the long term. Now, I would not do that if I'm the Raiders. Seems like a weird place to spend your money right now when your quarterback's Aiden O'Connell, but you could do that. Get Antonio Pierce with him. Again, I have mocked that trade idea, but I'm just saying I would do that deal, as fast as a pig can oink or something. Dale says, I'm so tired of PA right now. Well, I don't think you're the only one. Murray, please explain. Murray says, yeah, in all this BS, where is the quote, the Niners can choose not to trade him, end quote, line of thinking? I'm not following that comment, so please explain further. They can make a decision, and he can make a decision, but that's going to go up to the 11th hour, right? I'll play on the 5th-year option. He's not deciding that today. If he's going to play on the 5th-year option, he's not deciding that today. Is he going to spite play for the 5th-year option? Is he going to spite get a trade? It could be the best moment of his career to go make more money in New England or Cleveland and go catch 75 balls. With Ricky Pearsall's situation, if you were to trade him for Amari Cooper, Brandon Aiyuk, not Ricky Pearsall, but if you were to trade him for Amari Cooper, Amari immediately becomes, in many ways, your number one true receiver. And as I said this morning and last night, there's a lot of reasons to just fundamentally like him. Matt Mayoko said today that he talked to some Browns people in Canton, and they think very highly of Amari Cooper. But so he would produce for them. You would lose something from a blocking standpoint. I think I've been trying to think the last 24 hours, like, how do I articulate my analysis of Amari? And I don't know that I've settled on the wrong thing, other than to say, like, what I'm trying to say is Aiyuk has something that I think Amari is missing. But when you look up, the numbers are like the same. And one way I thought to articulate it is just that Cooper cruises to 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 7-8 touchdowns. Aiyuk scratches and claws his way to similar numbers. But in a big game, on a big 4th down, I'd rather have Aiyuk in that spot. I'd rather have Aiyuk in the NFC Championship game or in the Super Bowl. And I know it didn't go great in the Super Bowl, but I'd rather have Aiyuk in the Super Bowl than Amari Cooper. But that said, if you're getting a 2, somebody told me 2-2. If you're getting a 2, and Amari Cooper at this point, then all right, let's go to some insight here. I'm clicking on, I never do this. I click on it before I even read the comment. We all read the comment together. Eric Crocker, known as Crocky, been on this show, said, then trade him. They've known how much money he wanted. If he didn't want to meet that, if they didn't want to meet that, they could have traded him a long time ago. LOL. Their fault. We are still here. Fundamentally, basic level, yes, I agree. They should have found a way to get this done when it was almost done, right? When Aiyuk said on the pivot, I think he said he was picking out his suit for the contract signing. He thought it was done. Something happened, just something happened between that and getting it done. So maybe they should have gone a little further then to get it done. But I think this situation has become about more than just money. If it was just about money, he'd be on the Browns already. If it were just about money, he'd be on the Patriots already. You know, if he's not on this team and does eventually get traded, then we'll find out what the contract is. But understand, the Steelers, the Patriots, and the Browns are not all offering the same contract. And it goes to reason that the places he doesn't want to be, New England and Cleveland, are offering more. What is Pittsburgh offering? That has not been reported. But whatever it is, he's good with it. But if it were just about money, he'd be on the Browns already. It'd be done. So there's a lot of truth in this, Crocky. I agree with it to a point. Like, we are here predominantly because they almost got a deal done and didn't. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. But yeah, I mean, we don't know what that Pittsburgh deal is relative to the Niners offer. The other thing is, the Niners know, like, they do know what the market is, right? So let's say he wants whatever X more than Amon-Ra St. Brown, but the Niners look it up, like, they can't with a straight face say, oh, we're going to give you $8 million less, or $5 or $2 million less guaranteed, or even $1 less guaranteed than Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, I don't know if that fully, they've not, yeah. Well, I do think the second line here, they've known how much money he wanted. I think they agreed. They thought they knew. And then it changed, which is fine. Until his contract's signed, it can change. The market can change. Crocky also said he'd be, I value Crocky's opinion on this, that he'd be in on Coop. I don't think they need in 2024 to be worrying about saving money for the Purdy deal. Would it mean Trent Williams shows? Would it mean you suddenly have the money to give Trent Williams? Wow. Question from Michael: if Aiyuk really gets traded, who are your top 6 receivers going forward? Debo, Jennings, Bell, Conley, Trent Taylor. Is that 5? They don't have enough guys. They're down too many players. Debo Jennings is 2. Pearsall, in theory, but we'll see if he practices tomorrow. Shoulder. So I'm still at 2. Cowing, blue jersey, in theory, but okay. I don't think you have 2 rookies among the top 6 receivers. Anyway, I'm still at 2. Aiyuk, Debo. Chris Conley, 3. Ronnie Bell, 4. Trent Taylor, 5. Yeah, I mean, they don't have enough. They don't have enough receivers all of a sudden. Now, Pearsall comes back. Cowing, okay. But they don't have enough guys. Gosh. What a mess. I have a punter right now. I mean, this is what happens. Comment, I'd rather sign Trent Williams. No point having a high-priced receiver if Brock Purdy is sacked on every play. Yeah, if you had to choose between the two of them, If you had to say Aiyuk is back or Trent's back, you'd pick Trent. I don't know. Snead sighting. Willie Snead's on the Dolphins. Trent Williams isn't close. Yeah. "49er Gang 916 says Trent is retiring." You know, I think it's possible. I do not assume Trent Williams is just showing up because he likes Kyle, because he likes McCaffrey. He will show up for the right price. For not the right price, I don't think he's showing up. He doesn't need it. Real Deal Sports says David Deal, maybe. Debo, Pearsall, Juwan's not a bad receiving core at all. It's not great. It's not great. I like Juwan. I like Debo. I like the idea of Pearsall. But it's not great. He's not retiring. Can JJ play the Aiyuk role and be effective? I think he's most effective. No. He's such a fantastic complementary piece. Coffee in the cup. Unfinished business as a player. Don't you want at least one elusive ring? Speaking of Trent Williams, I'm sure he does. I'm just saying I've seen Trent Williams be willing to walk away from football before. So we should not be shocked if we should take him seriously if he acts like he's willing to walk away from football again. That's his greatest negotiating tactic. He's got his money. He doesn't need it. He can walk away. Damon asks, is Super Chat. Thanks, Damon. Is Jet unwilling to pay out the guarantees? It would be a first. I think he's got to understand what, not on Aiyuk, maybe on Trent, but not on Aiyuk. Somebody else threw a Super Chat in here earlier, and where did it go? Yeah, see, this system I've got here, or this streamer doesn't auto fave. The last one I used auto fave Super Chats over on StreamYard, but I'm off StreamYard. And somebody put one in here earlier that I can't find now. My bad. It was €2, I think, which is like, I don't know, probably $2.15. Where'd that go? Whoever gave me that Super Chat, man, thank you. Mark these words. If McCaffrey comes back too soon, he's going to get an Achilles. Jeez. Shanahan might have to play receiver. Devin, the worst part of this Aiyuk situation is that since his contract drama started back in February after losing the Super Bowl in overtime, we have no idea when the final decision will be made. Can't be September. Trent is not leaving. Aiyuk just wants more money and also stay on the Niners. He can have both. He just has to be patient. I don't think he's been patient. I don't think they're patient. I think everybody has run out of patience. The Niners are ready to trade him. That's clear. And I don't think it's just a tactic to get Aiyuk to sign or a tactic to get the Steelers to give them more. They don't care where he goes. All three of those teams, they don't care. They'll send him to any three of those. So patience is gone. Their patience is gone. His patience is gone. He's in the building. That's what's weird. It's not great, right? It's not. But I believe Mayoko's Monday night report that they got the trade in place. If Brandon Aiyuk said, all right, I'm doing this deal with the Browns, Andrew Berry, he would be on the Browns. I don't know if they're sending the plane for him or he's getting on the plane himself, chartering himself, but he gone. But that hasn't happened. Why hasn't that happened? Because he hasn't decided. Yeah, he doesn't. Maybe he wants to. Maybe it's coming back as John says, this is silly. Yes, we have reached the silly point. We are past the point of regular business, and we have reached silly. Question, why is he attending meetings if he's getting traded? Well, he may not get traded. He's got to decide what he wants to do. Does he want to stay? Does he want to go? I don't know what he's doing. Holding in, not getting fined, just being around the room. The super chat earlier was mine. I asked what you think about a tag and trade of Aiyuk in 25 if he doesn't get traded. Yeah, good. That's fine. What kind of year is he going to have if he's in a bad mood all year? Is he going to have the type of year that gets him extended, that gets him the money that he wants from somebody else? I don't know. That'd be a challenge. It'd be tough to keep his head right and perform while playing on the fifth-year option. You know, I know I said a while ago, I thought him playing on the fifth-year option was a likely outcome. And it's obviously one of the handful of scenarios here, but it just, the more you watch the situation unfold, the more that looks like a disaster. So a tag and trade is fine, but what is this year going to look like? He'd be incentivized to play well, but is he in the right headspace to do that? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, it'd be fascinating if they're like, we're not trading him. We couldn't get a deal done. We're done with that. Brandon says he's done with it. He's showing up. I just don't think you'll ever get a clean situation. T-Dub says, Guy, Trent did not walk away, quote unquote. My guy had cancer. Yes, he had cancer. And then when it was time to come back, he told the football team, like, I'm not showing up, so trade me. And he forced them to trade him. He was prepared to walk away from the sport. So I'm not referring to the cancer. I'm referring to after the cancer when he was back. He strong-armed them into trading him to the 49ers because he refused to go to any of the other places they wanted to trade him to. That's what I'm referring to. So he may not have missed that year. So you're correcting me there, and you're correct to correct me there. He missed the year for cancer. He didn't sit out a full other year, but he forced Washington. He was prepared to walk away, basically, to retire. And he forced Washington to trade him where he wanted to go. So that's, thank you for T-Dub. Walk away, separate from the cancer. All right. Devin says, my personal take is the Browns and Steelers, the Pats have until the end of the week before they back out. Well, does he turn off the Browns enough? Right. I mean, think about that situation. It's reported that the Niners have an agreement with the Browns. That means that the Browns just have to find a contract number that's good for Aiyuk. The Browns know what contract number Aiyuk is asking for because they have talked directly with his agent. So there's no mystery to Cleveland. Like, they know when the agent says, okay, let me take this. I think this is more than the Niners are offering. Let me take this to Brandon. Let's just say that started yesterday, right? When Mayoko reports it. So let's say a week goes by and the Browns are like, hey, you say you're not happy with the Niners offer. Here's a good offer. What's the deal? And they don't hear the answer they want. They don't hear the answer they want. They don't hear the answer they want. At some point, do they go, hey, bro, if we're going to pay you whatever, top 5 receiver money, we don't want to have to beg you. So maybe there's something to that. A week goes by and the Browns like, you know what? Red flags. We're out of here. Anyway. So you saw the latest on Ricky Pearsall. Tomorrow, look, more news tomorrow then. I mean, maybe it'll be tonight, 7 o'clock tonight. I'll be back live here talking more about Aiyuk. We'll see if Ricky Pearsall's back on the field. My guess is no. My guess is no. We'll see. All right, everybody. If you are watching this, which you are, great. Thank you. Hit that like button. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you. Another big crowd in here. So remember, you can go to heyguy.co to sign up for updates on hats and to send me messages directly. That's heyguy.co. Nigel says the Andy Reid found a way to do it without Tyreek Hill, who is an elite top flight receiver. I'm sure the 49ers are well aware of that. Holland asked, did you see the injury on Pearsall? Oops. Yes, I did. Go back to the beginning of the video if you'd like.